Hello fans, welcome to another piece of news. Today we have a bombshell that is shocking all Minnesota Vikings fans. But first, if you are not yet subscribed to our news channel, then take this opportunity to subscribe, leave a like here too, because these videos are a lot of work to make and we bring everything here to you firsthand. Now, today we have the bombshells. Let's go to the first one today. Sam Darnold's departure from the Vikings was strategic. Franchise prioritized J.J. McCarthy from the beginning, reveals insider. The 2025 offseason brought the Minnesota Vikings one of the most delicate and symbolic decisions of the entire rebuilding of the franchise. Bet on the present with Sam Darnold, Pro Bowl quarterback who led the team to 14 wins in 2024, or accelerate the future with rookie J.J. McCarthy, 10th overall pick in the last draft and seen as the new face of the franchise. The choice has already been made. Darnold left as a free agent and signed a 3-year, $100 million contract with the Seattle Seahawks. The decision, however, was not just contractual. According to respected insider Albert Breer Sports Illustrated, Darnold's departure is directly tied to the Vikings' strategic plan to prepare J.J. McCarthy to take over the reins of the offense in 2025, something that, internally, had already been defined for months. In his column, Breer revealed that any negotiation with Darnold or Daniel Jones, another name that has been floated, would be seen by the Vikings as a temporary bridge of only 1 year. Even talks with Aaron Rodgers, according to the journalist, were discarded for the same reason. All of these quarterbacks would steal valuable reps from McCarthy. With Darnold or Jones, they would have pressured McCarthy. Darnold probably would have had a good chance to win the job, but the plan was clear. The Vikings didn't want to take McCarthy out of the equation. Breer said they wanted him to be ready for 2025. From the beginning, that was the strategic vision, to build a solid foundation around a young quarterback. That belief explains why the Vikings never even considered a real battle between veterans and McCarthy, while Darnold has expressed interest in staying in Minnesota, even with a shorter contract and fewer financial guarantees. The scenario has never been favorable for him to lead the team long-term. From Darnold's perspective, choosing Seattle made sense, despite future competition from rookie Alen Milroe selected by the Seahawks in the 3rd round. The $55 million guaranteed contract offers security and a real chance to start on a team still figuring out its new direction after Geno Smith's retirement. The risks of the Vikings' aggressive plan. Meanwhile, the Minnesota Vikings have chosen to take a bold, perhaps even dangerous, path by refusing to keep Darnold for another year. The team gave up a stable option for 2025 and now has a support group that includes young Sam Howell, formerly of the Washington Commanders, and undrafted rookie Max Brosmer as alternatives in case of an injury or slower development of McCarthy. The team has made no secret of the fact that it is fully committed to its rookie, even with McCarthy still recovering from the surgeries performed in 2024 on the meniscus in his right knee. The Vikings see him as the ideal quarterback to lead a new phase. The plan since March has been clear: protect McCarthy, put him in a solid offensive environment, and gradually hand him the keys to the franchise starting in the 2025 season. That was the plan from the beginning, Breer reinforced. The Vikings didn't want a temporary solution. They wanted to start building aggressively around a young, moldable QB. McCarthy's arrival was the starting point of that strategy. Now on to the latest and most important news. Get ready for another bombshell from the NFL market that could shake up US Bank Stadium. The Minnesota Vikings are reportedly closely monitoring the situation of Joey Bosa, the Los Angeles Chargers star defensive end, who may be leaving the Californian franchise. Reliable league sources indicate that the Purple and Gold team would be interested in a possible trade or future signing should the Chargers really decide to move in another direction. And before I tell you everything you already know, subscribe now to the Report Vikings channel. Like and comment below. Would you like to see Joey Bosa terrorizing opposing quarterbacks in a Vikings jersey in 2025? According to insider Ian Rappaport NFL Network, Joey Bosa's stay in Los Angeles is not guaranteed for the 2025 season. The team is undergoing a restructuring process with the arrival of new head coach Jim Harbaugh and may choose to free up cap space, especially considering Bosa's high salary and his recent history of injuries. There is quiet tension behind the scenes. If the Chargers don't restructure his contract, a trade could be considered. and the Vikings are one of the teams paying close attention to the situation. Report reported in a recent report, Joey Bosa, 28, is one of the most respected pass rushers in the NFL. Since being drafted in 2016, he has 67 sacks, 15 forced fumbles, and 4 Pro Bowl selections. When healthy, he is absolutely dominant on the edge, combining technique, explosiveness, and play reading like few others in the league. His impact goes beyond statistics. He changes the rhythm of a defense and forces opposing offensive coordinators to redesign their game plan. According to Ben Gosling's Star Tribune, the Vikings coaching staff has been discussing internally how to bolster the pass rush since Danielle Hunter's departure. Although Jonathan Greenard and Andrew Van Ginkel arrived in the offseason, the team still feels the need for an elite presence on the edge to compete with the NFC offenses, and Joey Bosa's name has emerged as an ideal target if he becomes available. Defensive coordinator Brian Flores is known for getting the most out of his players in blitzes and pressures, and an athlete like Bosa would fit perfectly into this aggressive, physical, and versatile system. Sources for Jeremy Fowler ESPN indicate that if the Chargers do indeed put Bosa on the market, the Vikings would be willing to talk. The move would depend on the factors, a possible salary restructuring by the player and the price of the trade. Minnesota doesn't want to compromise on the future, but they are willing to invest in pieces that have an immediate impact. Bosa fits that profile. Joey Bosa has a contract that still runs through 2026, but with clauses that allow for cuts or trades with reduced impact on the cap. This opens a realistic window for a team like the Vikings to negotiate aggressively, especially if the player shows a desire to change his surroundings. And there is another factor that favors Minnesota. Joey's brother, Nick Bosa, has already stated in an interview that Joey would like to play for a franchise that values his presence more and allows him to operate freely in the scheme. Flores' system would provide exactly that. Fans, of course, reacted immediately to the rumors. The hashtag BOSA to SKOL has already appeared among the trending topics on X, formerly Twitter, and forums like our Minnesota Vikings on Reddit are full of montages, trade simulations, and fans already imagining Joey Bosa entering the tunnel at US Bank Stadium to the deafening roar of the purple and gold fans. In addition to his impact on the field, Bosa would also bring leadership, locker room presence, and a winning mentality, something that Kevin O'Connell has been looking for in all his signings. In a recent press conference, O'Connell stated, "Our defense will continue to evolve. We are always on the lookout for names that can raise our physical and mental level on the field." So far, no negotiations have been made official, but the simple fact that Joey Bosa's name is being linked to the Vikings already indicates that the board is willing to act boldly to strengthen the defense. And if that happens, Minnesota would go from a promising team to a real threat in the NFC playoffs. Now the ball is in your court. Loyal fan of Skull Nation, would you approve a trade or signing of Joey Bosa to lead the Vikings' new front seven? Comment below, like the video, and subscribe now to the Report Vikings channel, your home for breaking news, rumors, signings, and all the excitement that only the Minnesota Vikings deliver. Skull always.